Minister of the Environment and Climate Change.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to thank Danielle for her testimony. With the next quarterly carbon rebate payments starting to arrive in Canadian bank accounts and mailboxes as of today, in Danielle's province of Alberta, a family of 4 will receive up to $450 4 times this year, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, over 300 economists, it was 200 last week, it's now 300, from coast to coast agree that the evidence showed that not only does carbon pricing reduce pollution in Canada, but it does so at a lower cost than any other approaches. Pricing pollution works, it can support Canadians and fight for climate change. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member from Lethbridge.
On April 1st, the Prime Minister hiked the carbon tax by 23%. Every single week, I hear from dozens of constituents in my area who are telling me that they're struggling to be able to buy food, groceries, necessities. Food bank in my area has more than doubled in recent months. After 8 years of this NDP Liberal Prime Minister, he is just not worth the cost. That is clear to Canadians. So Conservatives have put forward a common sense solution. It's called Bill C-234. This government decided to gut it by bullying their senators. Will the Prime Minister choose to rescind and allow the bill to go forward in order to save Canadians a whole lot of money by scrapping the tax from farmers?
The Honourable Minister for Employment and Workforce Development.
Mr. Speaker, at the risk of putting holes into what they think is a good Tory story, let's look at some of the facts. 97% of farm liquids are exempt from price on pollution. Tyler McCann at committee, Mr. Speaker, indicated, and he is from the Canadian Agri-Food Policy Institute, indicated that there is no data to support carbon pricing and any increase on the price of food in Canada, full stop. Mr. Speaker, our Canada Carbon Rebate gives money back to more than 8 out of 10 Canadians. If they want the bill back, bring it back to the House. They can do it.
I'll ask the honourable member from Peace River Mackenzie, please, to wait his turn. He's an experienced, very experienced member of this House. The honourable member from Lethbridge.
No matter what this government does to try to distract, the facts remain the same. Canadians are struggling. They cannot make ends meet. And of course, it starts with groceries and fuel at the pumps and being able to heat our homes. After 8 years, this NDP Liberal Prime Minister just is not worth the cost, certainly not the cost of the punitive carbon tax. Conservatives put forward a very common sense bill, C-234, which would axe the tax from farmers and save Canadians a whole lot of money. The Prime Minister and the Environment Minister put pressure on senators, bullying them into gutting this bill. Will the Prime Minister agree today to allow this bill to go forward in its unamended original form?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
The Honourable member may have missed my earlier answer, but I could repeat it if she would like. The bill in question, C-234, is a bill that the Conservatives could call any time and we could deal with and debate in this House. And while I'm on my feet, once again, I would like to add, and I perhaps want to correct something I said a little earlier to the other honourable member. This member could help a lot of Albertans out if she just get out of the way of the fall economic statement legislation, which doubles the top-up on the rural rebate, Mr. Speaker, 20% instead of 10%.
For the last time, I would like to remind the very experienced members, including the member from Peace River Mackenzie, that he should only take the floor when he's recognized by the Speaker. L'honorable député de Guilbeault.
The honourable member for Beauce. Mr. Speaker, for 8 years, this Liberal bloc PM has not been worth the cost of the carbon tax. Farmers are rebelling against him. Mountains of red tape, a real lack of financial support, and a carbon tax which is stifling the farm sector throughout Canada. Getting rid of this carbon tax will be the quickest way of making food more affordable and helping our farmers keep working. But the Bloc Québécois wants to radically increase the tax. Will the Prime Minister commit to adopting C-234 in its original form without amendment in the budget tomorrow? The Honourable Minister of the Environment and Climate Change. Mr. Speaker, if the Conservatives had an ounce of intellectual integrity, they would admit to Canadians that 97% of fuel used on farms where there is pollution pricing is not taxed by the federal government, first of all. Secondly, do you know what I've been doing, Mr. Speaker, recently? I've been meeting with farmers from Quebec, Alberta, Nova Scotia. I've been meeting with grain farmers, cattle farmers. They don't talk to me about carbon pricing. They talk to me about the hundreds of millions of dollars due to impacts from climate change in the farming sector in the country. Once again,